Okay.
As you wish.
Okay.
The second is.
Before I forget your first question.
Well, then you can answer it. I can
answer your first question. Okay. Actually, I'm sorry I didn't mention the electric cars. Actually, electric cars is also a very important measure to reduce the pollution. Actually, we have several measures to do this. In Beijing, you know, we limit people to buy the cars. They have to, how can I say, draw it, you know, then they can buy the cars. They have to draw the numbers, otherwise they cannot buy. But for electric cars, no problem, you can buy. So this is to stimulate the people to buy electric cars. But the problem is, because of the battery life can last enough long in China. Now it's, I think, about 250 kilometers. So inside the city, no problem. But if you want to travel outside the city, there is a problem of how can you recharge your electric cars. So in China, we have some good electric cars. Like in Shenzhen, we have Biyadi. That is Buffett invested also in Biyadi. But I think at this first stage, as a first stage, we can use electric cars for taxi and for the inside the city public transportation. This is what happened now in Shenzhen, and also in the Olympics in 2008, we already used the public transportation using electric cars. So certainly you know that Tetra, the Elon Musk in the United States, they have developed a better electric cars. Now they also going to sell their electric cars in China too. From what I heard, their battery can last to 250 miles rather than kilometers. So it's better than ours. So they are going to sell their cars in China, but the price is quite high. So I think only the rich people can afford for that. So we still need to develop our electric cars. I have a fully confident for the electric cars in the future in China. But we also need to build the infrastructure, like recharge stations or something.
Okay. That was my continued question. Basically, there are two problems I perceive. One is in the future, there will be a problem of disposability of these batteries. And the battery disposal, I think, will again cause environmental hazard, something of the sort. Number two, you see the electricity, even though you can renew, I mean, it's not a non-polluting resource, it's a limited resource. The capacity of any country in producing electricity is limited. So don't you think if the electric car was very cheap, then it will put an overload on electricity, which is a scarce resource even in China. And definitely in the countries like India, electricity is not available for normal household purposes. So if you have the electric car, so considering these facts, what is your vision for the future for the electric cars?
So what's your question?
Now the question is, what is your vision for the future? I mean, do you think that electric cars will go more limited, there will not be any limited resources, or you can...
You mean the future of electric cars in China?
Yeah. China and anywhere in the world. Yeah.
Well, as I said, in China we are encouraging the use of electric cars, but we have to solve several problems. One is infrastructures for recharging station. Second is to prolong the life of the battery. So I think we, at this time being, it's mainly lithium type battery. I think fuel cells will have the future in the future. So we need to also make more innovation in developing the new cells, new batteries. And third is certainly we need to improve the quality of the cars. That means because if you have very heavy battery in your trunk, that's not good. So we need to make more innovations. But I'm fully confident in the future. People will use more and more people will use electric cars in China. And maybe someday we can export to Malaysia.
Maybe we can have one last question. No more question. You again, Brahmaji. Okay, it's yours.
Now, a question on Malaysia.
Second question.
Now the second question was on Malaysia. Basically, you said that as Mr. Lai said that the investors are coming for the real property sector. Now, when you take the growth of Malaysian economy, the present growth is roughly 5%, Malaysian economy. And out of this 5%, almost 60% is contributed by the construction.
By what?
By construction sector. That means, if out of this we count the points, that 3% comes from the construction itself. So the construction, if the construction becomes the main backbone of any economy, do you have any economics, vision in terms of, let's say, what happens to the, is it a bubble, will it, what kind of problems it can cause, and do you have a similar problem in China, basically, this is what I mean.
Okay, this is a very interesting question. Actually, I put forward a theory of a fictitious economy theory. That means, actually, fictitious economy is opposite to real economy, right? That means you directly generate money from money. That's like the stock market or some other, like the housing market and something like that. But at this time being, finance is very important in every country. So you cannot just deny the fictitious part. But the problem is, first, we have to keep the rational ratio between these two. According to my research, before 2007, in the past 30 years, the real economy in the United States reduced from 81% to 42%, and in China from 87% to 71.5%. So that means in the United States, the real economy is lower than 50%. So that's why they need to re-industrialization or to attract the manufacturing sectors back to the United States, because they need to keep the reasonable ratio. This is first. And the second is we need to use the fictitious economy to promote, to improve the real economy, because they can optimize the resource allocation. Say in the stock market, if you, in a healthy stock market, the good companies can get lower capital, can get capital with a lower cost, right? So in this case, they can play the role to optimize the resource allocation. But on the other hand, the over-speculation and bubble also will hurt the real economy. So we need to pay more attention to limit the over-speculation. So I think this is very important. So, but you cannot just deny we don't need the stock market, we don't need the housing market. I don't think so. The problem is to control a certain degree, to make a good balance between these two. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, with that, we will end our session here. Thank you, Prof. Dr. Cheng, for your time and sharing your knowledge with us. Now I would like to call upon Prof. Dr. Noor Aziz Ibn Ismail to present token of appreciation to our distinguished guest, Prof. Dr. Cheng. Please welcome.
How can I say thank you for inviting me? Terima kasih.
Terima kasih to you too, Prof. Dr. Cheng. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Secretariat, I would like to thank all of you for attending this event today. So with that, please help yourself for an afternoon tea served outside this room. We have one announcement. So we will have our BizTalk 2 on 18 February. The details are in the brochure given to you. So all are welcome. So with that, thank you and wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
What do you mean by EID of business stock? Whereby we call
I'll get my card. Okay.